All right, take two. So, yo, what's up, YouTube? Dirty Dan Gaming coming back with another Rise of Kingdoms video. And today we are going to be talking a little bit about the Tides of War KvK that we are partaking in, specifically the very first Alliance Directive that you are going to be able to utilize as an alliance within this first tide. So every tide is going to be the length of 4 days, and you're going to have different directives that both yourself and your alliance leaders can enact for specific buffs for your account. So without further ado, let's jump in and check out the first Alliance Directive, Double Time. Enjoy. All right, y'all. So we just did our Alliance Double Time, or Alliance Directive, which was Double Time, yesterday. We did this yesterday morning. For me, I did a small little stream. I'll leave a card up on the top if you guys want to check that out. It's pretty straightforward. I mean, there was a few things that we were just trying to kind of figure out and see if, you know, certain mechanics are going to work or not. But let's just get right into it. So this is going to be Double Time, which your alliance leaders can use. Whenever an alliance member destroys a barbarian fort, all alliance troops gain 0.2% march speed. Now, this wording right here, real quick, is a little deceiving. This does not mean that you can sit back and just gain extra march speed for when your alliance mates clear forts for you. You have to actively participate in the fort rallies. Now, we found out that you do not have to be a rally lead. You could just simply join the rallies and you'll be totally fine. I was joining rallies with my sub account to start getting the extra march speed bonus, and my sub account is not nearly strong enough to rally Lost Kingdom level 11 barb forts. Your troops can gain up to 5% speed per tide via this directive. Bonuses from this directive last until the end of the season. If your alliance issues this directive again in a later tide, the bonuses will stack with your previously earned bonuses. So you can stack onto your 5% during a different tide. However, you cannot use or utilize another alliance or another kingdom's alliance within your coalition. You cannot utilize their Double Time Alliance Directive to further gain stacks on this march speed. I'll give you a quick little example. I'm over here with our BL34 homies because there's a few tips and tricks that I'm going to, not tips and tricks, but a few further optimizations that you can do with this Double Time Directive that I'm going to save for just a few moments. But I came over here, and as you can see from my reports, I was clearing forts just a little over 30 minutes ago, and my stack of march speed has not changed. That is the 5% that I had yesterday as I was kind of finishing up my stream. So you can join in and help with another alliance and whatnot, but you're not going to get any more march speed. However, what you can do if you don't get up to the 5% in the first go on Double Time, you can then join another alliance, another kingdom's alliance, coalition, whatever it may be, to complete the 5% bonus. This is going to be equal up to 25 forts. I said 250 in the first Tides of War video that I kind of put out. I apologize for that horrible math. I left a comment down below. Math is not my strong suit. I apologize. So yes, you can utilize your other camp, your other alliances within your own kingdom to complete the 25 forts, and it's 3 hours, so you're gonna have plenty of time while doing this. Another thing that we did find out during these tides is that you can enact 2 alliance directives at the same time. So for this first tide of peace, we have Lightning Strike here, which is going to give you faster rallies, and you are going to have an increased march speed on your actual rallies. So this one was a little tricky. So I think what I would suggest is going about it where you kind of create probably 2 separate hives. We had one ish, didn't really work out too well. The 1 minute prep time is totally optional. You can still choose 5 minutes if you want. we weren't really utilizing the 1 minute prep time as probably well as we should have. So what I would suggest is just kind of getting into a nice little hive somewhere. BL34 is a little spread. I saw actually up here, if our Earth Camp enemies, if these guys are still kind of sorted this way, these guys look like yesterday they may have taken the Alliance Directive double time, and they had a pretty nice hive setup. I think there's actually even a little bit more cities, but yeah, you definitely want to hive up pretty well for this. And I would probably say 2 hives, because after a certain, after a few minutes, you do start to notice that the forts start to dwindle a little bit, and they're becoming a little bit harder to find because there's so many rallies going on. So I would definitely utilize a little bit of a hive approach when doing that. But for this additional Alliance Directive Lightning Strike, the 30% March speed is very nice. And again, we kind of just went ahead and launched both of them to test, because we wanted to see if we were going to be able to utilize 2 Alliance Directives in the future, or when we do have some of these fighting Alliance Directives, which we are probably going to get in the further Tide of Steel and also Tide of Unity, which I believe these are both going to take place while we have some fighting and some active wars in the future zones. Just a quick note on this directive. I've seen a bunch of people saying like, oh, save this because we want to use it on the level 4 passes. The Alliance Directives are going to change with each tide. So although that's a good thought, our first tide is going to end. It's going to end at reset today, and then we're going to move on to the Tide of Spring. Hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more Tides of War content. I will be covering this one, although it's probably going to be pretty straightforward. It's just kind of farming to an extent. So these are all going to change throughout the course of the KvK. So if we also back out over here, you can see we're getting kind of these 2 like peace or these 2 farming tides, and then we're going to get 2 consecutive battle tides. So although it is a good thought to save this this Lightning Strike directive for your level 4 passes to enter zone 5, because you're only going to have 1 minute prep time, you're not quite going to get there. So it's a good thought, but you have to remember that these Alliance Directives, the personal directives as well, are going to change every 4 days as the tides change. All right, and then lastly, I think in just a few like further optimizations, just again, if you're actively pushing Crystal Tech, this is just kind of an approach that I am taking. So first off, you definitely want to make sure if your alliance sets this up as an event, as they should, you should probably try and get your bastions and get fort trainings on them. Stupidly enough, on my stream yesterday, I totally didn't realize that I had 2 of these bastions ready to go, and I just totally forgot about them, so I needed to do them later. I actually had 2 other bastion quests that popped up throughout the course of yesterday that I needed to complete, which is why I actually came over to BL34 to just kind of crank them out. And then another thing I was just kind of like YOLO about, since I was doing the bastion quest anyway, was pushing on the season challenge for these forts. So whereas this probably doesn't get done until like I would say maybe zone 6 for some people, because who's cranking out 50 forts between zone 4 and zone 5 when barbarians are much better honor wise? This is a really nice way to kind of get an extra boost on through your crystal quest and to obtain a few more crystals for those first zones. At least that's the approach that I'm taking. Do with it as you may please, but I haven't really used much AP. I've used AP strictly for chaining barbs, and the little bit of AP that I did kind of dump through double time, and today doing double time with BL34, I'm gonna make it back up anyway. So unless you're being super optimizing on your account, then you probably won't do that. But just a nice little thing that I was like, oh, you know what, I might as well just do this, because why not? It's going to give me extra crystals in the long run, and this thing would have never been done until like zone 7 Kingsland. All right, so that's pretty much it, guys. I didn't want to make this very long of a video, but there's really not much to cover. I mean, for double time, make sure you're setting it up as an event so that way you have as much activity on as possible. This really is not hard to complete. It's 25 forts. Yes, this event is pretty straightforward. You can launch 2 Alliance Directives at the same time. You can just join rallies. You don't have to lead the rallies to obtain the 5% March speed. Even if you do not complete the 25 forts within the 3-hour allocation for your alliance, you can always join another alliance within your kingdom, within your camp, coalition, whatever it may be. You do have time to complete this, which is why I kind of wish the difficulty was upgraded a little bit more, because this is just, it's nice to get a little jolt of activity, but yeah, I just want something a little bit more challenging, in my personal opinion. And then, yeah, I mean, just remember that each player has to complete 25 forts. I think that was a big misconception yesterday that I saw in Alliance chat. People not reading mails when we clearly specified that you need to do these individually. You need to complete 25 forts on your own. And I think that's pretty much it. Further optimize with some Bastion quests, and if you want to push up on your crystal quests for those couple extra, you know, nice crystals and some upgrades that you can get for your zone 5 fights. And I think that's pretty much it. We will have Tide of Spring popping at reset. I'll probably do a little bit of a video on this, but this is really going to be just for farming sake. So maybe we'll do some cool comparisons, but it's going to be farming at the end of the day. So I will pop a video up on it. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys are enjoying Tides of War content, please hit that like button, consider subscribing. We have Zone 5 fights on January 18th, which is going to be next Thursday. I will most likely be streaming that in its entirety. I'll just take off of work, so be sure to subscribe. With that, I'm out. Have a good weekend. Take care, y'all. Love. Peace.